Welcome to Coffee and Tea with
And
you
you
and
and
me.
me.
Welcome back, everybody. And I want to thank, whoop, whoop. So for those of you who have been following us, thank you for following us. Thank you for liking, subscribing. We both have our own YouTube channels. And for those of you who are new, thank you for being here today.
And welcome. You're in for a wild ride.
So either hold on to your hair or hold on to your seat. So I'm Shelley Carter, owner and practitioner of Alder Healing Center here in Lombard. We provide holistic health here for the body, the mind, and the spirit. And what we really help you do is create balance in your life.
Awesome. My name is Nicolyn Carter, aka Nicole Brown, and I am a public speaker, and I also am a wholeness coach. And we'll talk about that later.
Woohoo! So today's topic of conversation is
I
hurt. Somebody help me.
Somebody save me.
So we're also going to be covering the power of positive thinking in order to overcome your stress and pain, and then grounding and what difference that can make to help create balance in your life. Because it's one thing to be thinking positively, but what I find is most people can't hold on to that because the moment they're triggered, boom, they've lost it. So Nicole, so how was your week this week?
Woo! Way shucky ducky. Yeah. Brian says hurting is a normal feeling. Yes, hurting is a normal feeling, but choosing to stay there and choosing to come out of it are your own. That's your mindset. So my week started off really great. I'm in the middle of a transitional move right now, which everyone will find out in 5 days, 6 days, somewhere around there. And everything was set up, everything's smooth, ready to go. And then Wednesday, bam, I was like, really? So then everything kind of crashed and burned. And I had to, I acknowledged, okay, this is what happened. I'm angry. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I'm hurt. I'm crushed. Kind of hit a PTSD trigger for me. Well, not kind of, it did. So, was emotionally drained because I was expending so much energy on this situation. Yeah. And, my boss noticed it. You noticed it. A couple of my friends noticed it. So I was in communication with a lot of folks. And yesterday I just kind of fell to my knees. And, again, I'm not a religious person, but I am a spiritual person. So I just fell to my knees and I cried and I prayed. And I cried and I prayed and I meditated and cried and prayed. And today I'm in a lot better space than I was. So I know something will fall in alignment and just kind of rolling with it at this point. So how was your week?
My week was, I don't want to keep saying every week it was a roller coaster. It's been an amazing week in so many ways. We have some new staff here at the center. We're in the middle of training. Excited for our guests coming in because it's going to make a difference of your experience getting through to us and being able to have your needs serviced in a way that supports you in a really great way. And then, of course, those of you who are parents know that when your children are going through something, it really profoundly affects you. And so it's also been rough in that way for me too.
Yeah.
And then let's see, our last show was on courageous vulnerability, where I was doing my 22 push-ups for
veterans, suicide awareness. Yeah. And I couldn't be more proud, especially as we're on day 4 and you did them today, right?
Yeah, I did them this morning. I had to
boobs.
My car's been acting a bit wonky, so I took it in to have repairs, and so many dollars later, but at least now I know I'm safe. I don't have to worry about anything. And I thought, well, I'm going to be here for an hour. What an opportunity to go do my push-ups. And I'm like, where am I going to go do them? So I found a lamp post and I went halfway, like chair height. Here I am. And then I'm like, those of you who have seen it, it's like, oh boy, my shoulders are still burning from that. So, and it's invigorating. the thing that I'm most, I don't know to say delighted, but impressed about and excited about is really all of you who are joining me, whether you're filming it or not, I don't care. But the fact that I'm getting messages that, hey, I just got my 22 in and I don't have time to do it all in one day, but I'm spreading out throughout the day and I'm doing them in between the walls of the door. And it's just, you guys just inspire me to continue going. And it means a lot. So thank you for your support and thank you for all that everybody out you are doing for everyone in the world that needs help and support in some way. And which kind of came to our topic of conversation today with I hurt today.
Yeah.
What do you want to say about that, Nicole? Because there's a lot around how the week went, how the week didn't go, how life has gone, things that have come up, and how we navigate through our hurts and the situations that come up. And one of my guests had a suggestion about some things that he wanted to hear us talk about. So we'll be bringing that into the show a little bit later. The power of positive thinking. What are your thoughts on that?
Woo! Shifting that mindset is so important, but it's also one of the most difficult things to do when you're in the poop, as you will, because if you're not contrling what you're
like a chicken coop, or what kind of coop are you talking about?
Poop, the poop.
Oh dear. Okay.
When you're in the shit, Mom. When you're in the
there
shit.
We go. I understand that word. But I will say some of us do feel like chickens when we're not like when we're confronted with something and to be able to move forward, right? Oh, so wait, I was
by all means.
I was talking to someone the other day. Oh, it was a couple that came in for a session, and this man, he just looked terrified. It was and so I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, then why do I see feathers on your skin? He's like, what do you mean? I said, you look so scared like a chicken.
Oh, did he skip leg day? Okay, anyway. So basically what happened was I signed a legal binding contract for this event that's about to take place, and this individual retracted the contract without notice, without anything, and it's put me in quite a pickle situation. And so I, as previously mentioned, I went to anger, I went to rage, I went to sobbing uncontrollably. The sobbing uncontrollably happened from Wednesday through yesterday. So,
well, I'm going to say, I'm so glad that you were sobbing, because I remember when you weren't even able to express your emotions. And like, that's such a huge step for you.
I'm okay with not expressing my emotions. No, this last year has been such a growth journey for me. And I've been focused on my growth journey for many, many years. The last 15 years, I think it was 17 years ago, we did Landmark Forum. And then we did Millionaire Mindset, and then I did Train the Trainer. And now I'm actually building a team of coaches and also like-minded friends. So, and then coming out to New Mexico for the PTSD MST program has allowed me to feel again, because I was so good at blocking every emotion. And even when I was cage fighting, I would get that anxiety, but that the fear of getting hurt just wasn't there, because I didn't care. I didn't care if I got hurt. I didn't care if I got paralyzed. I didn't care if I died for the longest time. And now I have my focal point, which I posted earlier, my why, which is showing my kids it doesn't matter where you come from, and it doesn't matter what the struggles is, as long as you know how to shift your mindset to continue to focus on what your goal is, it doesn't matter. So despite the fact that I went into a PTSD trigger, I still was holding on to those positive mental structures that I have in place, and also reaching out to those individuals who are like-minded to continue to shift me, especially when I would go back, and continue to shift me, especially when I went back. So it is about mindset. It's about telling yourself you can. It's about telling yourself, I deserve this. It's about telling yourself your kids deserve this. So mindset is so essential. And even if you experience mental illness, even if you're at a low point, even if you're considering self-harm or suicide, as long as you have that team built up in place for you, and as long as you have that one piece of hope in your mind of, I can do this, and even though the demons in your mind are saying, no, you can't, you're worthless, blah, 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 if you got that 10% that's saying you can freaking do this, and I'm saying freaking as a nice term, that's all that matters. Hold on to that piece. Hold on to that piece that keeps you going, and just start reaching out. And then you'll get through one day. You made it through one day. You'll get through another day. Stay intact with everybody, and keep focusing on the positive things that's going in your life. It's so essential to keep focusing on the yeses and not the nos. And even some of the no's make you angry, or people, you don't understand people's actions. I know wholeheartedly there was a reason for it. I know wholeheartedly that things will come together, despite the fact how angry and upset I was. Charles says, once you're past the anger, get even. Ha! No, Charles, bad, very bad.
So what did he say? I didn't catch all that.
He's my jokester client. Charles said, once you get past the anger, get even. Wink face.
Oh, okay.
We don't get even. It's rare to make me angry, and usually I can let it go fairly quickly. But when it's something that affects my children or my family, that inner rage comes out, and yeah.
I hear a lot about mindset, and I think there's people have different connotations of what mindset is, and where some may be fixed, like a fixed way of thinking versus a fluid way of thinking versus a holistic way of thinking. So when you talk about mindset, what is the thought? I know you've talked overview. So in your opinion, what is the thought process when it comes to either creating that shift to a positive shift, or creating the mindset maybe you're stuck on, or wanting to get the hamster off the treadmill?
Yeah, sure. So for me, you're either closed mind or open mind. If you're an open mind, you're a growth mind, you're ready for a transformation, you're tired of the crap, you're tired of the drama, you're ready to learn something more, you're ready to experience something more, you're ready to put yourself out there more, because the only way to shift your mindset is to allow yourself to be humble enough to say, I don't know it all, and I need help. And I need to reach out to those who are either where I want to be or who are on the way to where I want to be, because I want to hang out with who they're hanging out with, and I want to learn what they're learning. Closed mindset is where you're complacent with where you're at, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being complacent. There's nothing wrong with being happy with the existence that you have. But there is a point in some people's lives where they're like, I'm really tired of just living the same circle, the same hamster wheel, waking up, going to work, coming home, watching 3 hours of TV, eating pizza, having the same arguments with my significant other. There's a point in time where some people, what I'll call is they'll wake up. And usually that's when their spiritual side is egging at them, like, this doesn't seem right, or there's something more out there, or what am I missing in life to actually live?
Or even maybe they're at the point where their body's shutting down and they really don't know why. It's interesting because when I do the Zyto scanning in my office, we can always tell if it's an emotion that's affecting the body or even spiritually. So and
emotions are so strong, and people don't understand or even realize that, when you're physically ill, when you're holding on to those emotions and when you're holding on to anger and resentment, you literally make your body physically ill.
Yeah.
And you know, we've talked about this before about how much anger I was holding with my ex-husband a few years back, and it wasn't until I wrote a letter where it was like a weight just lifted off my chest, and you know, I cried. And 5 days later, he finally responded like, "I've read this letter so many times. Like?" He's like, "I didn't know this was you," because
So you're a wellness coach
yeah,
or a holistic coach.
I'm a wholeness coach.
A wholeness
Wholeness coach.
whole body, mind, and spirit.
Wholeness is
So when you're working with your clients and you see they're struggling, maybe it's in the exercise part, or maybe it's in you're working or coaching with them on a personal level, how do you implement this type of thought processing with them?
so great question. First and foremost, you have to meet your client where they're at. So I'll meet them where they're at. So if we have a physical fitness appointment, but they're mentally and emotional shut down, that physical fitness appointment will go into a mindfulness and self-love and empowerment appointment instead. So it's recognizing where that person is at that particular time, and we'll just shift it around. It's not a big deal. I would much rather have a client in a mentally and emotionally strong place than a physical strong place, because the physical will come when the emotional and mental are already strong.
So I want to role play with you, okay?
Oh God.
So,
No, that wasn't a woo woo. That was a.
Hey, so I'm your client. I'm coming in to start working out after several surgeries, several injuries. I'm in the all-time low. You can feel, because I know you are an empath, so you can feel my energy and how I'm feeling, and I'm not emotionally the best. What would you say to me? So I'm walking in to see you for the first time.
For the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. So first time we go, well, have we had the consultation or not?
Well, yeah, so make it up.
You're already a PETA.
It's our first day working out, and you see I'm an emotional mess.
Okay. So, hey, Shelly, how are you doing? How are you doing today? You seem a little disconnected.
And then the tears start flowing.
Okay.
And I can't talk.
You can't talk. Okay. First and foremost, I'm a hugger. So I predominantly work with females, just to throw that out there, because I've had a lot of issues working with male clients and not understanding the boundary settings. So unless this is not a client I've already worked with in the past, I am predominantly a female coach. I will direct my male clients to somebody else.
Okay.
So just putting that out there for my own safety. But so I'm a hugger, and I do know there are people who do not like to be hugged. So I'll just say, hey, let's go sit in a corner, because I like individuals to feel comfortable in their setting. So if we're out in the open and there's people around, or you're in a gym setting and there's people around, the last thing you want to do is open up when people are staring at you.
Right.
So to have a space where the client is comfortable. So where you're comfortable, whether that be I'm in the corner facing you and you're directly facing me, whether it be we need to go outside and walk around the building, no matter what it is, it's okay. And we're going to take some deep breaths. So we'll do some deep breathing techniques, do what I can to calm the client down, to get them to a point where they can be present to our moment together. And let them know they are in a safe space. And it is okay for you to kind of unleash what it is that needs to be unleashed. Because if you can't be authentic with your coach, then there's not going to be a good connection there. So, a coach has to build that trust with a client.
Right.
Two, the client needs to understand they can rely on you for quite literally anything. And
so you're kind of like the hairdresser. Or it's kind of like Las Vegas. What gets said here stays there.
See, but people post stuff nowadays, so I don't think that's true anymore. But yeah, I mean, essentially, and anyone who's friends with me knows, no matter what's said, it stays between me and that person. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care if you have a problem with somebody else that I know. I don't care if you and somebody else aren't friends that I'm friends with. It doesn't matter to me because my relationship is with you.
Mm-hmm.
My relationship is not with you and the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
What is said between us stays between us. And that's what really, I think that's the bond I really build with my clients, is because I create that safe space and I do my best to connect on an energetic level before I connect in any other way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, we're going to take a coffee break and we'll be right back.
Coffee.
Do you want to go first or you want me to?
Oh no, I got to see this. It's so cute. It's so cute. You guys are going to love this.
Well, first of all, we'll start with this one here. So on Shelly Live is going to be this Wednesday, July 1st from 1:30 to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. He's an astrologer who I've known for years. He's been on a few of my programs, and he's got good news for everyone coming January 21st and beyond. So he'll be covering predictions, what's to come, good news for the future. And then I'm so excited for what is next with my business. So So we look forward to seeing you here at the Alder Healing Center now that we're open. And
that is so freaking cute.
That was so fun making.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
What's
Do you remember when I was in kids' church and we had Veggie Tales?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I was kind of thinking, my time would have been like Gumby and Pokey. So, but yeah, this. I didn't even think about that. So most of our therapists are back. So please give us a call at 630-328-3928. And we'll be very excited to see you here back at the center. And so any last things you wanted to say where you left off before I go into my thoughts and feelings about things?
Really? You know how my memory works. So no, yeah.
Okay. So positive thinking can really make a difference with moving through stress and moving through pain, and positive thinking and thinking about your body, because it's really in your breathing that is the first place that helps to calm your body down. And in my practice, we have many different bioenergetic devices. One is called a biomat, where we're using the earth frequency for grounding. And it really helps increasing circulation in the body, helps with cognitive function, helps wound healing happen faster. And so trust me, I've been on it.
Is this the pad?
Yeah, this is the pad with the pillow and all of that. And
so calming, and then you're tired.
Well, actually, I can set the settings. So if you need more energy, I can set it so you have more energy. Or if you're before you go to bed at night, there's a setting for sleep, so you get a better sleep. Amazing. And then so I have heard about grounding before, and 20 minutes walking barefoot in the grass is the best thing you can do for yourself. We as human beings were not made to be in brick buildings, weren't made to wear rubber-soled shoes, weren't made to be on concrete, period.
We were gypsy souls.
Woo! Well, it's so funny because when I was a little girl and I'm walking down the street, I would hear my mother say, "Rochelle Lane Carter, get back in the house and put shoes on your feet." It's like I hated shoes.
I still hate shoes.
Even to this day. You? Okay. So even to this day, you'll find me barefoot more than not. But then they also have these pads that actually plug into the wall, and there's grounding pads, and I have this by my computer, so when I'm working on it, helps keep me charged and balanced. So as I'm working on mental tasking things, it helps to balance the body. So and I find, like, in the morning I start off with my affirmations and my prayers, my meditations, and all those things. But what I have found to really make a difference is grounding. So it's one thing to start the day, which helps at the day, but then, as you know, Nicole, things come up during the day. I don't know, those of you who are watching, how your days generally go and what you deal with. But what I have found to make one of the biggest impacts is making sure I stay grounded. And it's not like I'm thinking, grounding and putting down the grounding cord, which of course you can do. But there are devices like this pad. You can actually get them for the bed too. They have like half sheet ones. So you can sleep on it and it just recharges the body so the body can heal, builds the immune system, helps the body to heal, helps give you a better night's sleep, and a whole list of other things. And then prayer, of course, prayer and meditation is always great. But I love these devices because it provides. So I'm going to take a step back for a minute.
Back it up, back
So
it up.
there's, I don't know how many of you have heard of EMFs, radio waves, microwaves. We now have not just 4G, but 5G. And all of those frequencies like pass through our bodies. Well, since I see energy, I see holes in people's energy field from all the frequencies and the fact that, well, one, the stress of everything these days, their energy field looks depressed versus expansive. And so when people begin to either wear energy type protection devices, which I have some that I wear, and either bracelet or necklace, and then having these additional devices has really helped keep my immune system strong during this time. But I'm always on the path. So when I'm doing my affirmations and when I'm saying my meditations and working in that way, I'm always on my grounding pad, because then it like really helps what I'm wanting come to me faster. Talk about manifestation. It's almost like I think it and it just shows up, and it's been amazing. So, and then when we look at, the power of positive thinking, and when you're hurting, reducing pain and inflammation, amazing. If it's a physical hurt, if it's a heart hurt, it'll still do the same thing. I mean, like a heart emotional wounding, soul wounding, those types of things.
I needed to be wrapped in a burrito of those on Wednesday.
Well, you should have come on over. And so one of the things we've also talked about is what is necessary to stand in your power, and what does that really look like? And so I have a story I'm going to share with you that has happened over time, probably longer than 6 months. And I've had issues with my car for different issues that have gotten resolved. But for some reason, the steering wheel would shake when I would go to step on the brake. Now, folks, I am not an auto mechanic.
You don't say.
Yeah, no, you don't say. Now, my stepdad was an auto mechanic, but not me. And so I'm thinking, okay, power of positive thinking. Every time I get in my car, I was a nervous wreck, because it's like, and I wouldn't even get on the highway because I was concerned about, is my tire going to blow? Is my front end going to come off? What's going to happen?
Great to know as your kid, by the way.
But I'm sure there's many of you folks who have things happen to your cars and you don't know what it is. And then it's just thought of, oh my God, it's going to cost $1,000 or $2,000 to get repaired. Right. So I just had I get these feelings about doing certain things. And so it was the past couple of weeks, it's like, okay, I really need to call a tire place. And I thought it was maybe the tire needed balancing. Hey, so that tells you what I know about cars, right? And so I wasn't thinking so positive about it, because when I was nervous about how much it would cost, given that there's no income coming in or virtually nothing coming in over these past 3 months. And so it's like, okay, the universe has always got me. And I know God has told me I'll never give you any more than you can handle. So I'm like, okay, just breathe, Shelly, just breathe.
That's been a stretch lately.
So I made an appointment with Firestone the other day to go in to have the car evaluated, and I got up this morning super tired, and I'm like, I really don't want to do this, but I know I need to go do this. So it's like, okay, what's my affirmation today? All things are possible. Yeah, all things are possible. I went and had breakfast and then took my car in, and the guy there was so nice and so amazing and like just put everything at ease. And I had no idea what the cost was going to be, and it's like, okay, whatever the cost is going to be is what it's going to be. And one of the things I did do before I went is I did ground myself, because I know when it comes to finances, I used to go in major panic if I wasn't sure that I have enough money to take care of something. And so what was really great about this, and we're looking at standing in your power and your thought process is like, okay, so I'm gonna get my car checked out. It's the first thing I'm gonna do after I eat. And then we'll see what they have to say. And sometimes a lot of these auto places charge to even look at the car. And I was like, okay, what if they charge me? And what if the price is more than what I can afford right now? Now what am I going to do? It's like, okay, don't even go down that road. Just take a deep breath. Step number 3 is just get there. Step number 4 is talk to the guy at the front desk. And he was so kind and so nice. And he says, we're not going to charge you to just look at it. And he said, and I really think it's your rotors on your car. And I know about rotors and brakes, I know you need them to have the car so you don't crash and burn, right? And
so the wheel doesn't fly off in the highway, Mom. Okay.
Oh my God. See, guys, don't ever ask me anything about a car. Just give me a body to work on and
give her the gas handle thing and
where's that app?
And give her the key. That's it.
So he comes back out and he says, it's what I thought. It's your rotors. He says, now my car is a 2009 Sentra. And he's looking at me and he says, now, Shelley. And I'm like, now what? And he says, these are the original rotors on the car. He says, I can see you've had your brakes replaced, but you've never had your rotors replaced. This is general maintenance. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
So then it was like, okay, got that. And then the next step, what?
How long? Because I didn't know that.
I've had the car since 2009.
No, how are you supposed to have the rotors changed? Every.
I didn't ask him. So, but I know it's I know it's more than every 10 years.
Guys, if you know the answer, please drop it, because I get my oil changed and put gas in, and that's about
I get my oil changed every 3,000 miles, but
no, I do like every 10,000.
Oh dear. So we're going step by step, and so what I was nervous and concerned about turned into an actually really positive thing. And the brakes would have cost, like, instead of costing what it was going to cost, I ended up getting $160 discount. And then I decided to get my oil changed. So he gave me a huge discount on that. And so while I was there, I'm like, wow, what can I do to take advantage of this time? So I decided to do my push-ups, and because I'm looking around, it's like, well, I don't want to do it inside the store. And so I was looking around, and they had those like lamp posts on those cement brick things that supports the lamp. So, and I have never done push-ups that low before.
I'm so proud of you.
And,
so proud of you.
And the great thing, when you think of thought processes, it's like, okay, well, what can I do with where I'm at to have this be the best experience possible? And it costing, so I looked at what I had in my bank account, and it's like, okay, I can do this. And so I went ahead and had the work done.
Push-ups?
And then I did the push-ups. But then the cool thing, I was on the phone with a friend, and he's like, you sound calm. He said, what's going on? And I said, I just had, work done on my car, and the steering wheel's not shaking anymore. And he says, I know you. And he says, you're always a nervous wreck when you get in your car. And he says, to hear you be in a calm state versus like in worry or concern, he says, because I can always hear that worry in the background. He said, it's just really great to hear that peace now. And I really wasn't present to that until he actually said it. It's like, yeah, it's like, I've got nothing to worry about now except now just cleaning it out. So
Charles says probably every 4 years, or like 60,000 miles every 60,000 miles.
Well, considering I have about 160,000 on my car right now, it should have been
Mom,
probably done a while ago.
that means I got to do mine after next weekend.
Yeah. So, and so part of me being able to be with all the information and all the financial stuff and everything going on is like everything went smoothly and it was just really great. And I'm excited for what I'm going to be doing after the show today, and which will be announced later. So I know mom's the word, or mum's the word.
And speaking of which, your appointment is in about 23 minutes.
Mummy.
Ma. But yeah, your appointment's coming up here, so we gotta wrap it up.
Anything last words you want to say, Nicole?
So I guess I'll do my shtick right quick. Ha! So guys, you know my name. It's up there somewhere. Nicolene Carter, formerly known as Nicole Brown. I am a wholeness coach, and I focus on mind, body, and spirit. So yes, I am still in that physical realm, and those of my clients who have had me before have shared the amount of impact I've made in their lives, not just physically, but also emotionally, and overcoming different barriers in their lives. And I really, really hone in on the impact I can make for the client and how to help my clients overcome their mental barriers, overcome and get through their emotional barriers, because the only way to get through a mental and emotional barrier is to work through it. You have to go through it to get over it. And that comes the same with the physical aspect. And Mom, you're an attestament to this. You started your push-ups on the wall like 4 days ago. And now you did it on something that was like 2.5 feet off the ground. And I started tearing up when you're like, did you see where I was doing it? I'm like, in my mind, when you showed where you were doing it, I'm like, there's no way, like, she's going to injure herself if you're doing them on that little post thing. And then I'm like, wait a minute, did you do it on the cement part? And you're like, yeah. And then I just started tearing up. And I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of you. So, to me, it's getting through that. It's okay to celebrate. People forget to celebrate. And it's okay to celebrate the small stuff. It is important to celebrate the small stuff, because small stuff turns into the big stuff. And it's okay to not be okay some days, and it's okay to not be okay for a week, as long as you're making some sort of stride to overcome whatever barrier that is. And that's where I really work with my clients on going through it and going through it together and never leave anyone alone.
Yeah. One of the things maybe a couple things I'll add, or maybe 4 or 5 things I'll add to that. So what a lot of you don't know, when Nicole was living in the area, her gym wasn't that far from my office. And so there would be some of her clients that would come in for some of the services I offered. And one of the things that I consistently heard time and time again, because of course, as a health center, I'm always looking for improvement. What's improved since I've seen you the last time that you were here? And how is it going with your training with Nicole? Is there anything else you need support in? And a lot of the people who had seen you for a while, they're like, I cannot believe, one, how quickly my strength came back, or 2, how much more confident I am. And I would ask them, which I ask even my own clients, if you were to put a percentage on improvement of the quality of health, vitality, and energy that you have, what number would you give that? Some people would say the improvement was 75%. Some people would say 150%. So if you're looking for that type of improvement in your life right now, call this girl, because she can really help you make a difference. 505-633-6796. I am giving 15-minute free consultations to go through what your needs are, and if we're a good fit for each other. Again, unless you have been a previous male client of mine, I am only working with female individuals to prevent any safety.
Yeah, it's for my own personal safety. So unless I already know you and have worked with you, I am predominantly a female coach.
Okay. So those of you who have any questions, are there any questions in the chat, Nicole?
Nope, just Charles telling us that we're supposed to get our rotors changed every 4 years or 60,000 miles. I think that goes for both of us.
Well, hopefully by the next 4 years, I'll have a brand new spanking car and it won't even be an issue.
There's no hopefully, speak it into existence.
A brand new red convertible. That's
I'm going to have an Audi R8. That is my, and Eleanor. Oh, I'm going to have Eleanor. Oh, my dream.
I'm not even going to ask. So really, thank you guys for joining us today, and we'll see you next
Sunday.
3 p.m. Central Standard Time. It might be a short session, but we will see you real soon.